Welcome to Poison Popcorn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Poison Popcorn Podcast. This week, we're going to be talking about Bullet Train. I'm Corbin, that's Elias, and that's Chandler. We're missing out Van today. But anyway, I think we're just going to start diving right into it. Right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was fun.
Ready, Chandler?
Yeah.
I was actually a little worried about bringing this movie onto the podcast because it's actually, like, one of my favorites, and so I'm putting it up to for critiquing from you guys. That's a little scary because I'm emotionally attached to this movie, but and I think it's an awesome film or whatever. If you haven't seen it, probably go watch it. We're gonna be spoiling it here today, talking all about the different themes and the everything about it. You know, you get me. So, I suppose I'll start with my impression. Sort of a rundown of the film. Okay, so summary. This guy, Ladybug, that's his pseudonym or whatever, he's given this job to go get this briefcase that's on the bullet train. And hijinks ensue, you know. And there's a bunch of other assassins on the train and other people all after this case, and you don't know quite what's going on up until the very end. And oh my gosh, I love the ending. So here we'll go to you, Elias. Let's see your take on it. What's your sort of broad take on this film?
I liked it. It was a good movie. It was first watch. It was a very confusing first act, but then once you get used to the rhythm, it is a very fast-paced, funny, in-your-face kind of movie. And I really liked that when I first watched it. I thought the crescendo finale with Japanese version of I Need a Hero with a samurai fight scene was epic. I love that part. And the ending was also very anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic
in the sense of I was
they crashed the train.
No. The part where she's standing there gonna kill them, and then just a tangerine band just crashes into her, and then I'm like, oh wow, okay. And then I was like, all right, well, and it was funny because it was a tangerine truck.
Yes.
Funny. Overall, I think it was a fun movie. Second watch, though, for today's episode, I kind of realized that after knowing what's going to happen and after realizing, all the things from what I remember of the movie, I just didn't... It felt like a slog watching it because I knew what was going to happen. But... Because it's like a 2-hour movie?
No,
yeah,
205.
It's a little...
Okay, yeah. It's almost like 2
Basically
hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
5 minutes of credits.
5 minutes yeah, exactly. I just realized I didn't really enjoy it the second time watching it, but I did still appreciate all the action sequences because this is also a movie made by one of the directors of John Wick.
Yeah, no, he's a stunt coordinator.
Yeah, him and Chad Zielinski are both stunt coordinators.
And for some reason, stunt coordinators make great directors.
Yeah, well, because action based, so they know how to direct certain scenes. But overall,
also did Deadpool too.
Overall, I get also Deadpool too. Yeah, I mean overall, I think it's still a fun movie. It's a nice watch.
All right, what about you, Chandler? Go ahead, bash it. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna bash it.
Good movie.
There was a trailer that released for this that I saw about 600 times because I was working at AMC at the time, and I enjoyed the trailer way more than I do the movie.
And that's not bashing? Hold on.
Because you said it had a good pace. But I think the first 20 minutes are very enjoyable to me, and then right when you get to where Bad Bunny enters, and then you cut and you don't let us see that fight scene, and you cut some more, and then 10 minutes later we get that fight scene right when he enters the movie.
Oh, so you don't like the flashbacks?
Right when he enters the movie is where it just stops.
I'm gonna
and the
talk about that
pacing
later.
becomes unbearable. It's like it goes, stops. Completely still. And goes really fast and stops. And then we have these, they think, this movie thinks it's way more clever than I think it is. Because, oh no, your face is...
Well,
but
no, I told
because
you,
it's
this is personal for me.
It would be
going to
very
get heated.
It was it would be very cool. It's like someone was like, it would be very cool if we, said a joke and then cut to a flashback of that joke or, and it's but it would be, a.k.a. Edgar Wright does it amazing, but, he doesn't pull it off as well as he possibly could.
Now that you said that, it kind of sounds like it was like a Family Guy episode, like, "Hey Lois, remember when?" And then it cuts to a Bad Bunny.
That's literally what it is, because it's like Bad Bunny enters. Oh, we don't get to deal with that right
Hey, Lois,
now. We're
remember
gonna
when
make you
Bad
wait.
Bunny was in Bullet Train.
Yeah. And then they try to build up this like the best two characters in the movie are Tangerine and Lemon. I'm pretty sure anyone you ask,
I love those guys.
like they're amazing. Like that's the best.
They became
part
a
of the
meme
movie.
template and everything.
Yeah, they're great, but they try to make you like care about them when they were kids and how they're brothers and they're twins. My bad.
Oh
and
my gosh.
like,
Okay, hold
I
up.
don't care
You don't
at all.
care?
Corrosive Clash.
Okay.
Corrosive Clash.
That,
Here we go.
that actually, okay.
That's
I can deal with all you. Which I'm actually. You said you weren't gonna bash it.
Okay,
and
I'm
then you
kinda
did that.
bashing it.
I'm scared to see what you bashing the movie
lukewarm.
actually is. So, if that's like the nice version of your criticisms, no. But with the brothers thing, I absolutely love that. I have a brother myself, so like as a personal thing, like I get that, like that like.
Yeah.
And I like too how how you think that Lemon died, and you see Tangerine's response to that and that sort of grief, and then Tangerine dies, and you find out Lemon's not dead, and Lemon also has to deal with the grief. It brings you like somehow manages to make you both sides of this grief and this emotion, and I think that was really clever. And to the point of the pacing.
It's
The
bad.
movie's Bullet Train. I actually really like the pacing because it has the momentum of an actual train.
Bullet
you said
Train, that's what I started thinking.
You said it
Yeah.
goes really fast and it stops.
Yeah, that's
Goes
a
really
cool
fast
idea
and
and
stops. That's
concept.
what
It just
the-
doesn't work in
I
movie
think it
form.
works perfectly. I love the
I'm-
non-linear
yeah.
storytelling, and I actually really like the flashbacks. I think it's clever because if this had been done linearly, like we start with him at the wedding or doing something, I just don't think that would have been like the same thing. I like how we get sort of flashbacks to the characters, see how things are going, and it plays to the whole big theme of fate as well. That all of these things sort of happen, may seem unrelated in the past, but then eventually when they get on the train, everything comes together and all things end up mattering. Even the water bottle that the guy gets, it ends up like saving the
product
day.
placement there.
I thought that was kind of.
That's almost as good a product placement as like the Power Rangers movie where they have the donut shop.
Or like in Spider-Man, in the Amazing Spider-Man, they have everything he uses is Sony.
yeah.
They have a close-up of a Sony.
But go ahead.
Oh yeah, fucking. I don't know. I agree with him in the stuff of like the bits. The bit is cool once or twice. When you do it 28 times in the same movie, it's like it becomes stale. And I do agree with you that the stop and go, it's like a bullet train, which I like it. But like he said, in a movie, the pacing has to have a rhythm to it. And if the rhythm is literally stop and go, it really messes with the momentum, you know. But I mean, regardless, I still think that the set design was amazing.
Yeah,
It's
the
a
set
bullet
design
train. It's
was.
the amazing.
The cinematography's great.
Yeah,
too.
the lighting
was
really good
wonderful,
too.
yeah.
The directing's good, but my biggest problem is like you said you like the flashbacks. There are ways to do flashbacks, right? And in my head, I have cut together a version of Bullet Train that I would love because like
The Chandler
right
cut?
when he, let's say Bad Bunny again comes in, okay. If you want to do a flashback, cut straight to Bad Bunny as a kid, but they don't. They cut off.
You know, that would make
And
sense.
then they come to that later. But it's like, if you're going to do a cut, why show us this? Like, Bad Bunny's already entering the train, okay? Let's get his story going, you know? Because it would make sense because the stop and go. Well, when he enters the train, it should be going again. So why would you not immediately start with that fight and then slow down again? That's my opinion. But like, if they wanted to do the flashback, that was my biggest gripe, is because they would introduce scenes and then they would cut away and they would come back to it moments later. But if you're gonna do a flashback, do it with Bad Bunny as soon as he steps on screen, and not 5-10 minutes later after we've already almost forgotten that Bad Bunny even existed.
True. After
That was my problem. Like, there's a version of this movie that I think if they just edited a little bit better, it would be so much more enjoyable to me. But like, I can see why people enjoyed this. Like, it's a very fun, funny, fast-paced movie. It just, I don't know. It like, the first time I watched it, I liked it less. Second time I watched it this morning at 3 a.m., I thought it was more enjoyable, but the same problems I had, I still have.
gotta
Yes.
say, I completely disagree with you. Would not have edited it differently. I love how there's the A, B, C, and even D storyline going on, and they cut between them all. I think the way that they edited is great. So maybe it's a preference thing. You didn't like it, didn't quite work for you. I really, really, really like it, actually.
I like how everything wraps together like a little bow. How everything from the beginning of the movies end. That I really liked. I agree with Chandler that it could have been edited a little different. But I do think also it is worthy to mention, it's a small little detail, that the girl, I forgot the
Joey King,
yeah, the daughter,
the prince,
the daughter of the
the prince.
yeah,
prince.
she's reading a book, samurai story. I think it's called Shimujo or something like that, and that book is also in John Wick. The director's
His
inspiration or something
his,
in a lot of the stuff that he does. Yeah, so like it's kind of like full circle.
I will say I love the names that come up for each of them.
The
like
wolf,
whenever they enter the
ladybug.
wolf, the ladybug, and then the prince, the elder. It reminds me of the good, the bad, and the ugly, where and whenever they introduce the good, they say like the good, and then the bad, and the ugly. And I also like we don't really know necessarily their real names. Like those are their names.
Like,
it's fun. I thought it was cool.
This movie really weirdly reminds me of 2016 Suicide Squad, and that's not a good thing.
How?
Now that I say that, it's so
How?
But the style is like the same style. The way
Also-
they introduce music, the way they have witty like banter, they introduce the names.
They
do that in the Suicide
the pin
Squad.
drop of the music.
The pin
like
drop of the music.
It's like
the action,
like
the
a
way
jukebox.
that like. The way that like it's these, all of them are bad people, but you're supposed to like them, and then they all like have inter dialogue together. That's very snappy. Which 2016 Suicide Squad it's
awful.
very bad.
It's awful.
This movie's not bad. It's like middle of the ground, a little bit above mid, slightly above.
If you put me in a room, it's gonna explode if I don't choose a movie, and you put Suicide Squad and Bullet Train.
I'm picking
Bullet Train every day.
Well, because
Like,
Bullet Train has Brad Pitt.
Bullet Train has
Brad
marginally
Pitt's
a
awesome.
better story.
Yeah, but another
So-
thing, you said you like when they did that. I was just pissed off when Tangerine died, not because I like particularly loved the character or anything, but that mean I had to have more screen time with Joey King, and that made me very mad because I hate her in this movie so much. I do not like that character. It's like the worst character in the movie.
Which is she
when
again?
she's on
The
screen,
prince.
She's
it's
the
like-
prince?
Yeah,
I
I
thought she was-
hate the prince.
I think you're supposed to though hate
Yeah,
the
but
prince
no,
because
no.
she doesn't
Yeah.
belong in the story. She's forcing herself in. She has this grand plan of what she's going to do, and she doesn't see the whole picture. She doesn't end up like falling into this thing. And it's like what her father says too when they get to the end of the line is, you were never part of the plan. And she's such a narcissist in thinking that she could control everything and that the world basically revolves around her. And so I think you're supposed to hate her. But I love the scene too when Tangerine has the gun to her, and because she had the
falls.
sticker on her. Oh, the Thomas the Tank Engine stickers. I was losing it. Like
that
actually,
joke was funny at
when they
first,
had
and then
it-
they overused the
no,
shit
I
out
think
of
it was great because it
They
was so much.
overused it so much.
Well, because
dude.
the guy is basically obsessed with it. So he mentions it all the time. But then I love that he put the sticker on her to identify her to Tangerine. The Diesel.
Yeah.
She was the Diesel, and she was the Diesel, and he was about to shoot her, but then he didn't because then Ladybug shows up at the very last second, and things get confusing again. But I don't know. I think that bit was awesome. There's
Like,
so much foreshadowing.
There's a difference in like, there's a character that you're supposed to hate. Like, obviously you're not supposed to like her, but like, there's other movies that have characters you're absolutely supposed to despise, and I despise them, but I enjoy their screen time. I just didn't enjoy the character at all. I didn't think it was like, it was like, yeah, I get what they were doing with it, but to me, it didn't work. Like the brattiness, the hey, I think I'm so smart. It didn't click with me.
You see, the thing about a villain, right? What you're saying, right? This goes into character study. With villains that it's like the typical thing of like villains you love to hate, right? Let's talk about. I don't know. I don't know if you. Well, okay, fine. Yeah, this is Joker. Joker.
The most,
Do you like the Joker? Like as a person? No, you don't. Is he a villain you can watch do fucked up stuff, you can, but you still like him because he has a lot of personality behind him, right? A lovable hero. I mean, a lovable villain. Like you don't sympathize with them and what they're doing, but you like their personality in the situation they're in. For the prince, he just wanted to sound. She's like that one guy in class that wants to sound smart, so he just says really big words. That's kind of how she kind of like came across for me too.
Really?
Yeah,
as like that annoying?
No, like she had the demeanor of I'm smart and I'm the mastermind, but at the end, I don't know, there was something behind her character or the way that she was directed that it was almost like off, you know. So then when the white death, he's like, yeah, you're not important. She's more or less like not bothered by it, and then at the end she still tries to complete.
Maybe
her
she's
quest.
not bothered by it.
She's just like.
She's shocked because he has the gun in his hand that's going to blow his face off.
Yeah, but what do you expect from the guy who's never cared about you? So it's like,
well,
I don't know.
But that's the point. Is she's deluded.
Either way, she just came out as a flat character for me. I didn't really care if she lived or died.
Yeah, I liked most of the other.
I wanted her to die.
Also, can we just talk about how like I'm so sick of movies having like martial arts legends and not using them. Andrew Koji and
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are both amazing at martial arts. Like especially
and they're humongously
they're
big
both.
in Japan too.
Yeah. Like Andrew Koji, like he's in a show called Warrior on HBO Max, which I recommend everyone watch.
That guy. Yes.
And like he's awesome. And they don't really use him. Like they
Is he the
have
elder?
fights. What?
No, he's the son.
He's the son. And the elder is also like a huge martial arts legend in
He
Japan.
does have a
He's
big
huge in
sword
Japan.
fight.
But like the sword fight was cut in a way where you couldn't see him. It's like when you have
What?
two people like that, like at the end when he's fighting the
You could
White Death.
definitely see him.
It's like, but no. So they chose to go for like the style of the fight more than the actual choreography. You can tell because like they have quick cuts, pan into like the sword going.
But to be fair,
through
they're in
the
a bullet
chair.
train, so
Yeah, like I get it,
it's
but
a
like
very small space.
there's some stuff you could do.
True. Oh well, I guess you could do like an old boy thing
So-
where it's like
yeah,
you
yeah.
have it over there and you.
Like that. Like
Yeah,
that would have
I
been
guess
perfect.
that would have been
like
fun.
you have like he's very good with swords and they give him a sword to use. Like in movies he's awesome in it. And then Andrew Koji's a very big like fist fighter. I don't know what the
He doesn't
actual
even
martial arts
fight.
style.
He just gets
like
shot.
he doesn't fight
He
at
just
all.
gets shot. Yeah.
I'm like, you have this legend. Well, he's not a legend yet, but like this really good
Badass.
martial artist who's badass, and you don't use him in a movie that take place in Japan. And you don't use him. It's like it's very weird to me because I'm like, there's fight scenes and stuff in the movie that are pretty good, but like it's like it's very annoying to me when a movie has an actor who is known for something or is very good at something and it could totally be used in the movie and they don't use it. Like not every movie that Andrew Koji's in, he needs to like break out and fist fight and stuff like that. But this movie totally could have used him, but they don't. It's like, why? It's like, this is an action movie. Let's see some action with two martial arts people.
They could have had a scene where like the son and the elder team up finally.
Yeah.
And then
so
they
cool.
fight the White Death.
That would
That
be
would have
so
been
cool.
Okay,
badass.
here's why I say that's not a good idea. I will
Okay.
say that's actually a valid thing to say. Like, okay, he is this martial artist.
Yeah,
He-
it's like they
you could
sideline
use
him.
his skills.
He has the least
But-
amount of action out of all the characters, I'm pretty sure.
But what
All
I
he
mean
does
is
get
that
shot, yeah.
I actually like the way the story pans out with the characters. Besides their actors and stuff, I like the way that it actually turns out, and I like the character of the son. And the other thing, too, about doing a kung fu team up at the end or something like that is canonically the guy's been shot and wounded and like stuffed in a bathroom
walk
for the
it off,
last
he'll be
3
fine.
hours.
but John Wick gets
He'll be
shot and he
fine.
still walks.
Yeah, but that's
No,
John
Well, 'cause
Wick.
he's
John Wick is
John
like
Wick.
Yeah,
you
that's true.
cannot stop
But
John Wick.
he's
This
the
this
Baba
guy
Yaga,
is
dude.
supposed to be like
Baba Yaga.
this character is like very low level mafia. He literally just hands stuff off, and then he's not a very good father. That's like part of the thing because his son ends up
Yeah.
thrown off a building.
see what
and
he's saying,
So
too.
so he's
Yeah, but
supposed to
it's
be this weak
like,
character. So from the
why
character's
hire him
perspective,
then? Just hire
probably
someone else.
because of the director being having that background in stunt and fight choreography and stuff, that would make sense to hire those kinds of people because you know them.
But he did no stunts. Like, he has one action scene with that, like, stick that has a knife taped to it, which I thought was cool. But, like, it's, like, 3 seconds long, and he doesn't really do anything. It's all, like...
I'm not
like
saying it was necessary, though, for the
I know
plot.
what you mean.
I get what you're saying.
I know what he's saying,
It's not.
too,
No,
though.
no. I'm not like because he's not used properly. It's not like a detractor to the movie. I just think it's like it would have been the movie would have been benefited if you would have had. It's like imagine Nick Cage in a movie and he doesn't get to be Nick Cage.
Nick Cage in a movie, and he isn't schizo-ranting.
Yeah,
But Nick Cage is Nick Cage in every movie. I
I know
don't
that's
quite
what I'm
understand.
saying. Because people know how to use Nick Cage.
Nick Cage in the Ghost Rider movies is awesome. Have you seen him? He
Yeah.
just pops off. I
Well,
love
he's
it.
just
It's like even Mortal Kombat movie knew how to use the dude who plays the Elder.
He plays Scorpion.
Yeah, he plays Scorpion.
Mhm.
And at the beginning of the movie, he has an awesome fight scene.
It's really
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
it's
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
This movie could have used that.
But that other guy,
But it's not in the movie, so we can stop
son-
talking
yeah,
about it.
well,
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
But
it's like, you know,
The son-
use your
Yeah,
character, use your actors.
the son, I can see what you're saying too, because it's not his character to be a badass. In this character,
No.
he's a pathetic loser dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pathetic loser
pretty
dad.
much. And yeah, it's part of it.
But
It
yeah,
would've
which
been
why I'm
nice.
saying it's like even if he's a loser dad, he could have still arc.
Oh my gosh.
He could have still arced. He could
Even in Snake Eyes, they have a dope fight with him.
Let me
he
cook.
play Storm
Let me
Shadow?
cook. Let me cook.
Oh, okay.
So in the beginning of the movie, right? In the beginning of the movie, look at me. The beginning of the movie, right? He's like typical thing. Like in the beginning of the movie, he's the same. He's a loser dad. He's like, oh, my son, I was not there because I was getting drugs or something. Right? Okay, cool. So then by the end of the movie, he's like, wow, I gotta follow the footsteps on my dad. So you know what? I'm gonna stop being a loser dad and fight the White Death with my dad, even though I can't fight. That would have been a whole arc, even if it didn't like do that much damage.
Another
you know?
thing with the
He
character.
does throw the water bottle.
with the son character. That
was
is
such
true.
a dumb bit.
That was great. I
No.
loved it. No,
It was
I
very dumb.
absolutely love it.
It
And
was so dumb.
You
And
know,
then the flashback
you know
to the
why
water
I
bottle.
love it?
I was just like,
let him cook.
okay.
I am a firm believer in the idea that the smallest things, the smallest actions have such a great impact on the world around us and all different things. Why I love Lord of the Rings, and that's a huge part of Tolkien's message throughout all of those stories in The Hobbit, and why the hobbits are the main characters, because they're the smallest creatures and they completely change the world in what they do. That water bottle is so small and insignificant, but is ultimately the decider between one of the characters dying in the end. And that's what I love about this movie too, is like no matter how small an action or whatever is going on, it actually all comes back together eventually. Like every action has a consequence, and it changes the way the bullet train is laid out throughout the thing. Like there ends up being dead bodies and like different things deposited there. They go back and visit them and stuff like that, and the water bottle and still ends up on the train, and they end up throwing it. Every action has repercussions, consequences, positive and negative. Action reaction. And this movie exaggerates them, but in a way that I think is masterful, and I think plays to that big theme of the smallest things having that big impact.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just hate the bit where they cut back. They're like, the water bottle. Here's the story of the water bottle. And I was like,
love
oh
that.
my God.
Like
the
it
shot
didn't
where
make
it's
me
just going
mad.
through
It just made me
it's
go
so
like,
fun.
I agree. I just think it would have been. I think that we should have gotten a scene where we see all that in the movie instead of a flashback.
I think it's a preference thing, because I liked the flashbacks.
I didn't like that, and I think they should have just added that scene where he gets the water bottle, and we actually follow the water bottle the entire time, even though it's in some insert shots.
No, well, because you didn't know it was going to be a thing. Like, it would not have been as funny if there was
been
like
a thing.
a shot of the water bottle
would've-
every like 10
Okay,
minutes.
but
You would have
him-
been like, oh, that's going to be used.
Dude,
but you don't
Okay,
notice
but
it
him-
because it's not actually like focused on until the end. They're like, look, this water bottle came all this way.
But it is focused on because he puts the little
thing,
Yeah,
and then
but
it
you
shows
don't
up
think-
twice more.
Yeah.
I think it would have. I think that throw would have been more heroic if we stayed with the water bottle in almost every shot.
I don't think so.
I think it would have been funnier
I
if,
completely
if
disagree.
someone would have picked up the
Because
bottle
that
and dropped
defeats
it.
the whole point of it being an insignificant object. Suddenly, if you're focusing so much on it, it becomes significant.
I still think that if the water bottle is gonna have his own flashback montage.
I mean, it does have that one scene where it gets swept
be
up
inserted in at least from the
into
beginning
Yeah,
to the
I
end.
hate
It does
flashbacks.
get swept up into the trash or whatever. You do see that, but it's a passing thing. If you're not thinking about it, you don't notice it. And I like that. If you're not thinking about things, you don't necessarily notice things until the end, and you're like, oh my gosh, I missed this. This makes sense.
Fine, let's change the poster of the movie and add the water bottle. The face.
No, my gosh.
Fiji,
You know what I'm
whatever it is.
saying.
Fiji. Yeah. Brad Pitt, he's not the hero. The
water
water
bottle
bottle is.
is.
Put
Yeah,
his face on there. Remove Brad
and
Pitt
another
there.
thing that was
I'm
like
being
a
mocked.
pet,
No, I'm not. It's pretty funny.
like a pet peeve of mine. Not really a pet peeve, but like, so they set up these like, I don't know what you would call them, like revenge stories throughout the movie. Like, the dad is on the train to kill the person who pushed his son off the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. The elder is there to kill the White Death because he killed his family.
Well, actually, not originally, but he
Mafia,
ends up
the
being on
mafia.
there.
But it
He
ends up being
goes
like
on the
that.
train because his
Yeah,
son's on the
but
train, and then he's like, "Oh, this train's going to the White Death. Well, why don't we just off him
Yeah.
now? This seems like a great
Yeah,
opportunity."
but then they set that up. But neither of them get their revenge. Both the characters die,
Yeah.
but it's not by the doing of the two people who wanted their revenge. So it's very like it's like blue balls, man. It's like
I don't
it's like
understand what
you
you're
set
saying.
up this thing where this these two people are gonna fight, you know, and then they have a fight, but neither of them win, and then he ends up blowing his head off, which looks cool and is cool, but it's just like, okay, why set it up? Like, why have that flashback
True.
scene where the elder's wife and daughter die if you're not going to pay that off with him getting to kill the person who killed his wife?
embed a sword into the guy through his shoulder into his chest.
But that's not the inedible fall of the White Death. It's the gun.
I feel like
But it's not who killed him. The gun killed him. Not
bothers
the
you,
elder.
the fact that the
Yes,
gun-
because don't set it up and have another flashback scene in a movie that has way too many flashback scenes if you're not going to pay off. Like, why did we need to know that the elder's family died to the White Death's hand? Because in the end, it matters nothing.
No, it
could-
does.
It doesn't matter.
It does
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
No, it completely matters because it's the whole motivation of the character to be like, oh, this is a coincidence. This is fate.
But it's a
Fate
coincidence.
has given me the chance
But
to
why
kill the
did that
White
have
Death.
to happen?
I think that it would have been better if
Because he
the
yeah.
elder. I think it would have been better if the elder came from out of frame, shot. Because you know how he usually has a sword.
But yeah, no,
And
that
it
would have been off
shooting
character.
him.
That would have been off character.
No,
It
it
would've been off character.
plays
It
to
would've
the
been
fate
funny.
thing too because remember it was the prince that rigged that gun in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's traveled all this way across this bullet train to end up into his hands at that moment. And where he ran out of bullets, think about it too, he actually only had one bullet at the time because he
I
was
think-
playing Russian roulette with the
Yeah.
guy. And so all of those things playing together to put it in just the right scenario.
It would have
I
been
thought was
more
great.
of fate to me if the prince died to her own gun.
If the what?
The prince died to her own gun.
How would that happen
Like
though?
her own hubris got the better of her. I don't know.
That she just randomly pulls the trigger of the
someone
gun
could
she
just
knows
flip
is rigged.
Like, okay, here's the thing. So the elder kills White Death because that should happen. Okay, the son
I
turns
disagree.
the gun around or takes the little bead off, and she forgets that that's her gun. She grabs the gun to kill him. She kills herself with the gun.
We could have had like Lemon got the beat and throw it at a guy or
Yeah,
something, and then she forgot that was his, and then she.
Because the only way she knew that was her gun was because of the beads, and I was like, why are they setting the beads up? Why are they focused on the beads? Because it shows like these are the beads. The beads are
to
on
differentiate.
there to
Yeah.
differentiate, but
And
they
it's for the
never
audience.
use that. So why have like I get why the beads are there.
It's
Okay,
for the audience.
yeah, but it would have been cool if you take the beads off. She kills herself with the gun that she made to kill her dad. That's so much more climactic.
See, I disagree.
Like you have the son take the beads off.
Completely.
The son throws the gun on the ground. I can see it. You know,
No.
it's like in my head because like
You're trying to make this movie like super dramatic or
No,
whatever.
it would be funny.
Or
That
to,
would be
like,
very
and
funny.
very, like, no, it wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I
been
feel like
funny.
that
It would
would
have
be-
just been.
that would be
It would have
funny.
been poetic, not
in a
funny.
sick way, it would be funny.
No,
it would
what?
be so funny.
No, what was I
You're
thought that
tearing this family
the
apart.
death was,
Yeah.
the death of the White Death was funny. Because he was like screaming at this guy like, "Don't call me bro!" Like he's been
Yeah, that
completely
was
demeaned or
funny,
whatever.
But then I was just like, okay, but I wanted to see the elder go
Oh
to
my-
town
no,
on him.
we don't
It just
need to
makes
see that.
sense,
I mean,
man.
if he had
It
been
really
killed,
does
if he had
make
been,
sense.
if he had been killed on the train, so what? Whatever. But I like the way it played out.
That-
I
and-
really
well,
like the
that's
way
cool.
it played
That-
out.
like, I'm
that
glad.
reminded me
it's-
of Guardians of the Galaxy for some reason. Where he
Yeah,
goes,
it does.
Don't
It's
call
very,
me bro, and then he dies, or like
It's
very,
fun.
It's
it's very
bro, you
Guardians
and
of the
me.
Galaxy.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it is.
And I like that.
That's
I
funny.
dig that.
I mean,
Yeah, I just think it would have been cool because they set up these two revenge arcs, but they never get their like comeuppance.
Man, I
It's
prefer.
like if you watch. It's like okay, go back to John Wick because he worked
I
on
was just
John
about
Wick.
to talk about John Wick. Yeah,
It's like
Oh, here
imagine
we
John
go.
Wick goes on this journey to kill the dude who killed his dog and stole his car.
But this isn't
he
a-
never gets to
no,
kill his.
This
kill
isn't
the
a
dude who
John
kills
Wick
his
movie
dog.
though.
I
None of
know,
these characters
but
are John
imagine
Wick.
it.
I agree with
At
Corbin.
all.
I agree with Corbin
I
on this
know,
one.
I know, but imagine they set up a revenge arc in any movie ever, and they don't get to fulfill the revenge. Something else kills them. It's like
I can see what both of you are saying.
It's not fulfilling. Like I didn't feel fulfilled or satisfied at the end of this movie. I was just like, it would have been way cooler because they set up this thing with the White Death and the Elder, and the Elder
I don't
doesn't
know.
get to kill him. The
No,
son
but
doesn't
the
get the
Elder
revenge on
gets
the
to
prince.
basically kill him. Like he would have died anyway at that
Yeah,
point.
but it's not the same. You
no,
know, it's
I-
not the same.
Okay, but guys,
No,
guys,
sorry.
you guys are missing the biggest point out of everything.
The
Brad
biggest
Pitt.
one.
The biggest one.
The biggest one. Enlighten us.
Percy Jackson's in the movie,
for 5 seconds.
and then he dies.
Yeah, Logan Lerman's
Logan
in there
Lerman,
for 5 minutes.
yeah.
Oh, is he the guy that?
He's the
He's
son.
the son of the
son
White
that
Death.
gets like.
That gets the
Oh, that guy,
venom
yeah.
put on him. Yeah, I like that one. I like how nobody noticed that, and I'm the only one that went, oh, it's Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
And then my friend was like,
what?
no, and then I get that face of like,
Oh yeah, it is.
No,
He's got a beard
oh,
now.
The
yeah.
celebrity cameos are fun in this movie. They do Channing Tatum,
Channing
and
Tatum,
then they
Ryan
throw
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds for a shot. I
the girl from The Boys
I thought
is
that
in
was
this movie.
fun. I honestly thought those were
she's
fun.
Himiko.
She's the person.
The trolley girl.
Trolley girl. Yeah.
I thought that was fun to see
It's
them
like-
do that, and it was subtle. I really like the writing too. I think the dialogue is
fine.
smart.
It's
I think
fun.
the jokes are
It's
fun.
Fun.
I
It's a
like
tight
the pacing.
script.
I like the way that they're talking.
I wouldn't call it tight.
It gets me into the
It's a little-
characters,
I think
but
it's tight.
it was good. I
I
liked
think if I
it.
read it, I'd have a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and like,
no, if I read it, like I read the
I
script,
could
would have
totally
fun
see why
reading
this
it
got
too.
picked up to be a movie.
And I love all the random
It's just-
Momomong stuff. You know, the weird like
anime
plushie,
characters?
the
Yeah,
anime characters and the
that got
plushies
a
and the
little
things
annoying.
that are just like happening
Wait,
and the
that is kinda
overlay to
annoying.
Momomong.
Same with
last ep-
Thomas the Tank Engine.
The last episode kind of leads very well into this because they're both from Japan
Yeah,
in the anime.
yeah, we're doing
Yeah,
a
we're
lot
gonna-
of Japanese.
Gonna get a copyright strike from this one too. Oh.
Thanks, Germany.
Yeah, do we want to cut out the part where he says copyright
I mean, I
strike?
love Germany.
I know you can.
Germany
you can
number
say
one.
It doesn't matter.
I don't
You
wanna-
can make fun of them.
So I prepared all of these points,
Gotcha.
thinking we were having a conversation. Did not
We
prepare for a
can.
debate.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this is not a
I
debate.
do.
This is a
Okay.
discussion. This
I
is
will
a
give it a
discussion.
credit. I do like
discussion.
the thing of fate that goes along. It is cool until the end. I like the fate up until because then like like a smart person can pick up that like hey, there's fate going through this like. But then at the end, they say it way too much, and they're like, "This is a movie about fate. Do you get it?"
So
And
it's,
I'm like, "Yeah, we get it. Just shut up."
no.
Shut
Actually,
up and show us.
I
Show
like
us.
how much it's. So the first time I watched this movie, actually, when I watched it, I was just like, oh, okay, fate, whatever, like predetermined destiny. That's
Yeah.
what I thought it was talking about.
It's about
it's
fate
not.
and luck.
No. It's not
Ladybug.
exactly though.
Ladybugs are
Because there's the
lucky.
whole point too, where he tells the White Death like you are ruled by fear of the one thing you cannot control, that is fate. You can only control yourself. The White Death tries to control other people, tries to control their destinies, their fates, and ultimately becomes ruled by that, and it leads to his death. So truly, it's about that you can only control. You can't control the outside world. The outside world will do. You have no idea. Like, things will happen. That's fate and such. You can't control that. You can control what you do, and that's what Ladybug actually does. He's not so much as a noble character. He's kind of silly, but ultimately he does make a sacrifice for the team when they get off the train in Kyoto, and there's the White Death and his army of assassins. Ladybug actually gets out of the train and buys them time by sacrificing himself and just like giving himself up for a little bit so that they can have, the sort of bad guy monologue conversation thing and stall. But he does that as it's a sacrifice.
Don't call me bro.
So,
Don't call me
and that
bro.
plays to the whole thing too of him being Ladybug. They say that matches to the Japanese sort of spiritual idea of the ladybug, that it bears a dot on its back for each of the 7 sorrows of the world. And obviously Ladybug doesn't want that for himself, but it's what he does. And sometimes we are like called to sacrifice of that. We have to make that decision. We control ourselves, and we can do things for good and for bad. But the moment we try to control the world around us is the moment we become like the White Death, and we become ruled by that fear of fate.
Yeah, and I like the whole thing that his codename's Ladybug out of nowhere, and then Ladybug kind of comes into play, how he's lucky, and everything that happens is literally from external forces beyond his comprehension, but it favors him in a certain way. And that is a very stoic thing about philosophy. And stoicism is the belief of once you accept that you're not in control, you will be in control. Like once you accept that anything that anyone does is outside of your control, you can't control what they do, then you're truly free. That's that's like a very stoic way of looking at it. And I agree. The thing about the movie though that does it in a good way and in a bad way is that the good way is that it uses it in a comedic sense, and I like it. But when you hammer fist it into the audience, like Chandler says, like it's about fate. It's about fate. Did you listen? It's about fate.
Yeah,
it's sort of like dude, just show it. Don't talk about it. It's like if Darth Vader was like, Luke, the dark side, Luke.
He kind of is the
dark side.
They say like the dark side every 15 minutes.
Yeah, but every single time
movie.
they say like fate, it's like they're looking at the camera.
Like fake, wink,
Fate.
wink, wink. Get it? Do you pick up the message of fate?
I like it.
Wink,
I
wink,
like it.
Wink.
It's just that
Yeah.
I don't have so much a problem with it.
It's not that bad. I just think it would have.
It's just
No,
Yeah,
I can see
yeah.
what you're saying though. Like in movies, they do this sometimes. I'll say it in
Also-
Casino Royale. It's a little awkward
True.
because the whole time that
I still
James
like
Bond
Casino
is
Royale.
playing poker, the side characters are off trying to explain the rules of poker arbitrarily to the audience. It's just kind of weird.
It's just it's an artistic taste, but I mean it could be used in whatever way.
I thought we would mention philosophy when talking about Bullet Train with Brad Pitt.
No, exactly.
Real.
I think
It's
this
wild.
movie is so much deeper than just an action movie.
Mm.
And there's so much nuance to
Agree.
it, and that's why I think it is written so beautifully. Why I love it so much. There's so many deep layers to it. I
Step
don't
Brothers is
like
deeper, bro.
watching just like an entertaining action movie. I don't like just watching like people like go run around, get shooting or whatever. I mean, with the
Well,
exception of like Die
John
Hard
Wick.
or something like that. No, John Wick isn't that though. John Wick is
In its
about
core,
a
in its
character
core.
who has all this pain, this anger, doesn't know
That's
what to
Die
do
Hard.
with it. What?
It's also
That's
Die
literally
Hard.
Die
That's also
Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Die Hard has like some sort of, I don't know, like there's the terrorist things going on, there's suspense going on.
Die Hard also has
They're
a
very
very good
human
villain,
characters
unlike
and
this
stuff
movie.
like that. But like
I like the White Death.
for me it's beyond, it's just sort of entertainment value.
On
The deeper, the things that go deeper in this film, that's what makes it for me. Like the whole
gotcha.
theme of fate, the clever dialogue, the bond between the different characters, like the brothers Lemon and Tangerine, that makes this movie for me.
So basically Shrek version of Layers. This is the Corbin version of Layers.
Sure.
Yes.
I guess so.
Onions, you know?
Yes,
That's
no,
layers.
I know what you're talking about. It's just,
Yeah.
okay, well,
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I hope you guys thought that was funny.
Maybe
One of
the
you
audience
guys.
thought it was
I
funny.
saw this in theaters,
Me too.
and it was not like it's a very pretty movie. I mean, it's a very
very nice looking movie.
visually it looks amazing.
yeah, and like the CGI is noticeable but not bad. It doesn't like take you out of the movie.
No, they use
I
the
think it's a
shots
really
well.
good
It's pretty
action
good.
movie.
Yeah,
Really good, sometimes
but,
funny action movie.
It's better than most of the action movies that come out, but it
Recent
doesn't
years
like
besides
it
John
didn't
Wick.
do enough for me to stick out.
Gotcha.
It just like I don't know. It didn't click with me.
So
like
service-
obviously it clicked with you, and that's really good because there's
That's great.
Yeah,
That's not a
But-
bad pick for a good movie. I mean,
yeah, like it's a fun watch, but I will never watch it again. Probably.
I will put it.
Like,
I will put it.
I've seen it
aesthetic
twice,
reasons.
and I think I've seen it enough to know, like, if it's on TV and it's, my friends want to watch it, I'll watch it. But I'm never gonna seek it out to watch it.
Yeah, just like have it on, play it, cook,
it's like
clean.
it's better
know.
than like every action movie that's came out. Wait, no, John Wick 4 came out this year. Never
Exactly,
mind.
yeah.
John Wick 4
But
was
it is better than
amazing.
Expendables 4, which I just watched. And that movie's
You
dog
watched
water.
Expendables? Okay, well,
Yeah,
that's
it's horrible.
you should have known what you were
Well,
getting
yeah,
into when
but
you
I was
watched
just
that.
like, hey,
It's an
let's
Expendables
go.
movie, dude.
Watch
It's an Expendables movie. You watch the
know?
trailer, like
You watch the movie after you watch the trailer.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
Well, I I watch pretty much anything.
But I also like the idea of big macho men just killing each
why
other.
Is Megan Fox? Why
And
is
there's no
Megan
big
Fox
macho
in
men
it?
There's
killing
no
each
big
other.
macho man this time.
No.
It sucks.
It's
terrible.
actually I don't know. I watched the Expendables series just because it was like nostalgic.
funny.
It was like you
Yeah,
got like the
Expendables
Rambo
4
actor,
is
you
like-
got all these old guys, and like they
That is
used to
hard
be
to do.
super big or whatever.
That's hard to do to get.
It was fun.
to get a
Yeah.
set of all those heavy hitters.
Yeah, somehow
Get them in a room.
they
That
made
producer-
a movie
No, it
worse
was-
than 5 Nights
it
at
was- it
Freddy's.
was Rocky.
Which the Expendables
It was
4.
Rocky. It was Sylvester Stallone. He produced the movie, and he was able to get all those guys in that movie.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is
'cause
that
he's-
is really
So
good.
maybe
He's
I will
freaking
walk something
Rocky.
back. Expendables is like just a fun action movie, whatever, and it doesn't have that
It's a
much.
turn-off brain
It's not
movie.
too deep. Yeah,
It's a
so-
turn-off
and
brain
I
movie.
enjoy it. So there are movies that it work for that, but I feel like this Bullet Train is deeper.
Also,
You
I-
give me Expendables and Bullet Train. I'm gonna pick Bullet Train.
You're gonna
yeah.
pick Bullet Train.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's more
because,
enjoyable.
Like I actually like this movie. I don't know. Some of the gore looks CGI, but then some of it looks a little practical.
There's one
Which I
scene where a
like.
guy gets like planted onto like a sign. That looked
And then his
very,
body, like, slides back the
in-
train.
That was very
Like
CG.
it's got some fun kills and
that was
gore,
cool. That was
which
badass.
I might be sick for liking that, but I'm a horror movie fan. So
Well,
that
I-
was nice for me. I was like,
I like-
hey, let's go.
I like when violence and like death.
It's fun. He's sick, man.
Yeah, it's cool. But when it plays into,
I agree.
When it plays into the characters, like in
Yeah.
like I'm gonna go completely off topic, like Halo Reach, how
Oh, this is a movie podcast, sir.
Hey, hold on. Let me cook. When how Kat from Halo Reach, she's the brains of the organization. She gets shot in the head.
Spoiler for Halo
well,
Reach.
I guess yeah. Spoiler for Halo Reach. Emil is the close quarters combat, and he has knives and shotguns. He gets killed in the back, and how you are the lone wolf and you die alone. It's like I like it when characters have that sort of death. And Bullet Train, there weren't really any. Didn't really need any because the movie is already a big symbolism of fate. So I don't know. I like the idea of characters dying in a very
would have killed
in-
them
in,
like
like-
death.
their own like reverse version of themselves.
To be honest with you, I don't think I understand what you just said.
Yeah.
I like when
I
characters
kinda
die in a
get it.
certain way of their character.
So like
But-
tailored dramatic deaths. Like I'm gonna
no,
hold
but
you
there is a scene of
here
that.
and
There
you're
is a
gonna
scene of
die.
that in the movie. So I'll actually give it some props real
And-
quick. So when Bad Bunny dies, he dies of a broken heart,
Yeah.
which is why he has shown revenge.
Knife in his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, the knife in his heart, yeah.
There is one.
We
He was a
found it.
broken-hearted character. Well, I wouldn't even call him a character. A guy who shows up.
Tragic character. in a way. He shows up for like 4 minutes.
shows up, and it's a cool little fight scene. I actually like that. I didn't like the backstory we needed to have for it, but it was cool to see people puking blood. That was pretty cool.
That was badass.
And
Very death metal.
You
Yeah.
guys sound like sadistic. Like,
we're not. We just look.
It's
They
funny.
put the movie. Okay, the movie was made by people who obviously also enjoy that. So why is it wrong if I enjoy it as well? You know what I mean?
Corbin, what are you trying to
It's
say
like
here?
you're not gonna put people puking blood at a wedding if it's not a little bit cool.
I understand
You
how
know?
it like plays to the story, but I don't know. It's
like,
you're
hey,
saying like, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
we're just
Let me
mid
get
on the
more
movie.
blood vomit,
This-
guys.
yeah,
I
this
want to
was-
see people's innards outside of their body.
It's
This was my brother.
It's
my,
cool, man.
My brother
I'm sorry.
my brother's 12 years old. This was his first R movie in theaters too. So
Wow.
this was a big introduction.
This was his first R.
This was his first in theater R movie. That was an experience, bro.
It's not
not bad first introduction. It was good. He liked it a lot.
Can you guys remember what your first R movie was?
Yes. Blade Runner was your first R
Blade?
movie?
No, Blade.
Oh, Blade.
was your
when I
first
was
R.
Okay.
Blade when I was 5.
Yeah.
When I was 5, Blade. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was Reservoir Dogs.
Hey yo.
Gem. Yeah, so in the small town I lived in, we had this little dude. His name was Pete. He had a movie shop. I would go in there, and he'd hand me a movie. And I would take it home, watch it, and then take it back the next day on my walk to school. And he, handed me Reservoir Dogs. He was like, okay, it's time you watch Rated R. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to give you this. He's like, don't tell your parents you got this from me. Just watch it with the sound down. And then I came back
gosh.
2 days later because I watched it 3 times. I was like, that was amazing.
Great.
He was like, did you tell your parents? I was like, no, I will never.
My dad was
Now
like,
they know.
Yeah. Well, they
my
know
dad-
now. I mean, I've told them eventually.
My dad was always the type of
I was like 8.
carefree dad. You know the carefree dads. So my dad,
You know
my
those.
dad was
You know
them.
the
You know
carefree
those
dads.
carefree
Yeah.
like,
Like,
oh,
oh,
whatever
don't
you
raise
want, kid.
themselves.
Yeah, whatever.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Stay
Don't
with the
kill
sword.
anyone.
Here's my piece, son. Anyway,
Yeah.
he would I was playing around one day, and my dad was watching something on the TV, and for some reason he was like, "Hey, want to watch this?" And I was like, "Okay." And it was Blade.
TV censored Blade.
No,
Oh.
he put it in to watch it, and
Oh.
and he was just watching it, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" I just walked in, and he goes, "I want to see it with me," and I was like, and after that, I said, "This is my personality
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is
for my life." And then my second movie was actually Vampire Hunter: Bloodlust.
What am I-
Vampire
What was
Hunter.
that?
Why are they?
That is the most aesthetically pleasing movie ever.
I don't know, man.
Vampire Hunter: Bloodlust. If you know, you know.
Bloodlust.
They know.
I don't know, man.
Huh.
I don't
Sensing
even know
a pattern here. The more blood, guts, and gore, the more you guys
Early
like the
2000s
movie.
edgy.
Yeah, we're
edginess, bro.
horror movie fans, man.
yeah.
We like it. It's
You love it.
I love horror movies.
Vampire Hunter: Bloodlust. You
I
love
probably
it.
would.
Love it.
My
It's really good.
first R movie, I think, was.
It's like Fallout meets Dracula.
Sounds pretty dope.
It is really good. It is really good.
I think my first R movie was Saving Private Ryan.
Really?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a lot of people. Like a lot of because I think you watched
really
it in
good.
school. Well, we did.
You watched
You
it in
did?
school? We
Yeah,
weren't
we
allowed
had
to
to
watch it in school.
Interesting.
All the
Yeah, we
schools I
watched it
went
in
to,
school.
it was banned.
Well, my school had 25 people in it.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Like my graduating class was 26.
I got in trouble for watching Dusk Till Dawn. From
Wait,
Dusk Till
parents?
Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn in school.
Well, yeah, that's
because I had it.
stupid.
Well, because I was bored and I wanted to watch something while I was in my free period, so I put on Dusk Till Dawn, and my teacher came behind me. She was like, "What is that?" And I went, "There's a movie." She just took my phone away, and I was like, "Bro, she was lame."
Yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn's a good movie.
All right, Al. This has been fun, guys. We've gone
went
off
over?
the rails of this conversation. Yeah, you caught that. There you go. You're laughing. We know you're laughing out there.
Okay.
So anyway,
Chat,
we'll
let's
finish
make him
this
watch
up.
Lost World.
Oh, what?
Let's make him watch.
Make him watch Lost City, Lost Kingdom.
Dude, you and
Lost
names.
Lost City.
I don't know
Lost
what it's
City.
called, but it's a movie. I watch it with my parents in
Channing
theaters.
Tatum
So,
movie.
And you see
Anyway-
Channing Tatum's butt.
Please send this to your friends if they want to listen to cool stuff. Thank
And
you
us
so
rambling.
much for
Hey,
listening.
you're not gonna rate
we
it?
Really
You gotta
appreciate
rate it, bro.
What? No,
When
no.
you
We
rate
didn't do
it.
that. We're not doing ratings anymore.
What?
What?
We didn't do it last time.
We did.
No, we didn't.
It started. It's a new thing. We're introducing
Fine.
ratings.
We want to rate the movie.
If you give
last
it-
time we did not rate. What was the movie we did last
Princess
time?
Mononoke.
We
I
did
was-
not rate Princess Mononoke. How about we leave it up to the chat? Do you guys want to hear us rate the movie 1 to 10, or you feel like that's cliche or whatever?
Hey, when this goes up on YouTube, just if it goes up to 10 likes, we'll do reviews.
10
at the end.
likes.
10 likes.
That's
Well,
a pretty
no.
low
I'm just
threshold.
gonna rate
I
it.
could
It's
ask
a-
my
a 4 out
family
of
for 10
10.
likes. I could be like, "Hey, mom,
Or in
my
the
grandma,
comment section.
you want to
No.
go give me likes?"
Comment
I
section.
give it
I
like a
guess
6.5. I'm
I don't
giving
know.
my rating.
It's something we're
Boom.
debating about
8.8
as we go forward with the podcast.
out of 10.
Anyway, yeah, let us know how we can make this better. And yeah, anyway, I guess we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.